Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about how to maximize your UHRS earnings, especially if you're a beginner. I would appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. We'll head straight into the video with the first tip. Tip number 1, qualify for high-paying hit-ups. Try your best to qualify for high-paying hit-ups, especially when there's no work available, so that when work is uploaded, you can start working right away. This will save you the stress of having to complete training and qualification when there's actually hit-ups to work on. Training and qualification are time-consuming, so it's best to do that beforehand. Also, I personally hardly work on hit-ups that pay less than 3 cents. If there are no high-paying hit-ups to work on, I take a break. Tip number 2, do not leave what you are working on to go and qualify for another hit-up because it pays better. For example, we have this hit-up here, search for business by specific category. It pays 4 cents and it has 2k hits at the moment, and you've qualified, so you can start working on it. Then let's say this hit-up shows up. It pays 7 cents, or this it also pays 7 cents, but then it's, let's say, 5k hits, but you would have to train and qualify first. I'll advise you keep working on this till it runs out. Then you can then think of trying to train and qualify for this, because if you're not lucky, by the time you're done training and qualifying for this, the hit-ups here would be finished, because there's a high competition on UHRS, and if you're double unlucky, the hits here would also be depleted. I'll advise that if you're working on a hit-up that pays decently, you keep working on it till it's depleted. Then you can come and train and qualify for this later, or after this is depleted and there's still a couple of hits left, you can come and work on it. But then if you're working on, let's say, 4 cents hit-ups, a hit-up that pays 4 cents, and this hit-up shows up and you've already qualified and you can start working, then it's okay to leave this and come and work on this because it pays better than this. Tip number 3, master in a few hit-ups. There are a couple of hit-ups that are almost always present on the marketplace. I'll advise you master in those hit-ups by thoroughly studying and understanding the guidelines to the best of your abilities. It's also advisable to master in some hit-ups that aren't always available. If you know you are good in certain hit-ups, study it thoroughly so that you can give it your all when it does become available. This will help you maintain a good spam score and prevent you from getting disabled. Remember, only pick the hit-ups that you are good in, master in them, and work on those hit-ups. Don't be jumping from one hit-up to the other just because it pays better or because you are in a rush to make money. This is called spamming, and you stand a chance of getting banned. Tip number 4, take your time. Take your time when working. Don't rush. There's a specific amount of time you're supposed to spend on a hit-up. Try your best to work within that time range, else you receive a speed ban. For example, with this hit-up, you would have to spend 45 seconds on a single hit. Same applies here. And in this hit-up, you would have to spend 10 seconds per hit. You would have to spend 10 seconds on a hit. The amount of time you spend on every hit varies from hit-up to hit-up, so you would have to be cautious. If you spend less than 45 seconds on a hit here, let's say you're supposed to spend 45 seconds and you spend 5 seconds or 10 seconds to make the judgment, and you keep going at a fast pace, you'll receive a speed ban and you'll not be able to work on it for some time. Sometimes too, the first ban you receive from some hit-ups is permanent, so it's better to stick with the time. It's better to stay within the time range per hit. So every hit-up varies. Like this, you would have to spend 1 minute 45 seconds per page. But then if you realize that you are spending too much time on a hit-up and it's not going to help you maximize your earning, then I'd advise you stop working on it and look for a better one. Tip number 5, always keep your guidelines and report page opened in different tabs. Do this so you can refer to the guidelines when you don't understand something, as well as check your spam score respectively. So if you decide to work on a hit-up, you would have to download the guidelines and study it thoroughly, and I'd advise that you'd open it in a different tab so that when you're working and you don't understand something, you just refer to the guidelines so you keep going. And you should also open your reports page in a different tab so you can keep track of your spam score so you know when to stop and when to stop, and also if you need to continue. Tip number 6, keep refreshing your report page. Refresh your report page every 3 to 5 minutes so you can keep track of your spam score. Most but not all hit apps will issue a temporary ban if your spam score drops below 80%. As I said, most hit apps, but not all. Some hit apps are quite lenient and would tolerate a lower spam score, sometimes 70% and sometimes 60%. Tip number 7, stop working on a hit app if your spam score drops. When your spam score drops below the required threshold, stop working on that particular hit app to avoid receiving a temporal or permanent ban. Tip number 8, hide hit apps you've been banned on. If you get a temporal ban on a hit app, I advise you hide it. Hiding such hit apps will prevent you from mistakenly working on them, which could lead to a permanent ban. So if you receive a temporal ban, that hit app would be moved here to the blocked section. Then you can go to the blocked section and move the hit app to your hidden hit app list. So you would find the hidden hit apps. When you come to this page, you just select hidden hit apps and then you'll find the hidden hit app right here. Do this to prevent yourself from receiving a permanent ban if you receive temporal bans on hit apps and you can't keep track of them. Tip number 9, take a break every 15 to 20 minutes. Yes, I know you're probably thinking, why should I take a break when there's work? But the break is very much necessary. I realized personally that the more time I spent working on a hit app, the more confused I got and the more likely I was at making wrong judgments. So taking a break always helps me clear my head. I know we are all not the same and some people are still able to keep judging for long hours with a good spam score, but I still recommend taking a break once in a while. And finally, the last and most important tip, don't be greedy. Someone is paying you to work for them, so try your best to provide them with the best quality of work. Don't work on hit apps you know you have no knowledge on simply because you want to earn a lot of money. Greediness and poor quality work will eventually get you kicked out of UHRS. Also, providing poor quality work will lead to the reduction of the pay per hit of various hit apps because you are literally cheating the contractors, and this will end up affecting us all negatively since the reduction in pay per hit cuts across. There's also one piece of advice I would like to give to you if you work on UHRS or if you decide to work on UHRS. There are numerous UHRS channels on Telegram, and most of these channels have people in there who promise to give you qualification answers to various setups in exchange for money. I just want to let you know that they are all scams, and if you encounter such individuals, you should report them to Telegram. Some of these individuals also claim to sell various accounts such as ClickWicker, OneFormer, Pioneer, and many more, as well as language assessment answers. Please don't fall for their scam. All what they're doing is against the NDAs of UHRS and the other various platforms. Thanks for watching. I hope these tips become helpful to you and help you earn more on UHRS. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video.